Are you? Are you?
Yes. I'm just watching.
You want the thing?
No, because she's gonna.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And action.
That was so good. Okay.
Listen for my how.
Hi, my name is Nicole.
And I'm Misha. And we're Ritual Común. We're very in sync today.
I know.
Yeah.
It's the little things.
The joys in life.
Yes.
Today we're here to talk a little bit about how to ground, how to become anchored, and how to find a small ritual in these practices of your protest, of your activism, and how to continue the journey and the path that you are embarking on with this movement, how to not stop it, and how to prepare your body so that you can continue this long term.
And I've talked about it a little bit in another video, but if you are out there in the front lines, basically at this moment, protesting, it's a toll on your body and on your mind and your soul. There's so much going on, and there's going to be so many triggers that are going to be popping up for all of us, but especially if you are in a position where your body's getting heightened and your adrenaline is pumping, and you might react in ways that if you had been in a calm environment, you might not react that way.
Right.
Hold space for that, honor that part of yourself that had to do that, but also be able to come back and allow that to be a healing moment for yourself so that this movement continues. Like, the last thing we want to do is burn through the fume and
be on empty.
And all of this start to fizzle out, because that's not what our world needs.
So there's a few things that we want to talk about here so that you can start to integrate these practices into your day-to-day. Number one is inner reflect. Allow gratitude to come into these practices of reflection. Allow, when you are in these moments of understanding that you are collectively changing things, small goals, small changes at a time. And although things might not be to the place that you want them, you need to have gratitude towards the change that you are creating and that you are actively, showing up for in your own way. So what am I doing? What am I fighting for? What is this for? And having these aspects of our lives that we're changing, gratitude is reciprocated. It is heard by the universe and it is amplified. If we want change to come, then we need to be grateful for the change that we are starting to create.
Yeah. For me, number two is satsang, which means family, or your chosen soul family, in Sanskrit. And it's something that a lot of yogis use, but I really like the concept of knowing that you make your community, you make your family within wherever you are.
Yeah.
If you are out there on the streets, you're faced with the other, right? It feels very much like you are the other, you are the enemy. Being able to find solidarity in a group, but also being able to come back and reflect with one another. And even if it's before you go out there, of like looking at each other and being like, thank you for being here, recognizing each other and just grounding in that love, because you're gonna enter a space, an energetic space, where there's gonna be very little love. There's gonna be a lot of anger and fear and a lot of other negative emotions that are necessary for this to continue onward, but we need to be able to always come back to a place of love. So being able to have that safety net and anchoring yourself with that family.
Number three is creating an anti-inflammatory diet for yourself. A lot of times throughout this time, you will become super stressed out. Your immune system will lower. Your immune system lowers, you have more chances of getting sick. This is how we become sick. Stress is the number one killer of most people. We have these different things that happen to us, whether it be physical flare-ups or you just feel totally exhausted and drained and you don't know why. So having a higher anti-inflammatory diet is very important for you. Having foods that are going to nourish your immune system and strengthen it so that you do have enough energy, making sure that you have enough nutrients in your diet is really important in these times as well, because if you want to continue to put energy out into the world in the forefront, or you're talking to people and you're having opposition come at you, so you're going to have highly stressful induced conversations because maybe somebody isn't hearing you and you really want them to understand, so you have to use a lot of brain power to remember, how do I educate this person? What do I need to say? How can you hear me? How can you have compassion to what I'm saying? And when you use these practices, a lot of that is a lot of physical energy that you're putting out. So you need to nourish the physical energy within you, and you need to make sure that the foods that you're putting into your body are healthy for you. So anti-inflammatory foods, things like cinnamon, things like turmeric. Turmeric always.
Just always have turmeric. And this might seem not important, like you might be thinking, whatever, I just need to be out there. But the thing is that even though your mind and your heart is like fueling for this, we are in a physical body, and your body will stop you.
What is the point of being out there one day and then being totally starved and unnourished just to be out there 7 days?
Yes.
Being out there and then having enough energy to have the motivation and the energetic space to excite people to come with you.
Yeah.
So that everybody wants to do this movement with you. Instead of being like, I put everything into this one day and I'm so tired and the sun was blaring in my face and now I'm like totally drained. Right? So having these practices and hydrating a lot because right now you're cleansing the energy from your body. You're processing so many emotions.
And another one for me is continue the conversation. It's almost like double time, right? Because you've been out there protesting and walking and just being in that energy, and then to also have to go and talk to somebody about it because a comment flares you up and you're like, no, right? If we're not taking care of ourselves, if you're not taking those moments to ground, to find gratitude, to relate to your family so that you guys can vent to one another, if your body isn't in the right place, you're going to explode. And the message that sends that person is that they're just angry, and that our anger is not justified, and that's not what we want. Our anger is justified, but if we're not able to communicate it in a way that is powerful for all, not just for ourselves. We want to be a community that supports one another. And if we are just fueling being on one side and you're the enemy, we're not gonna get to a place where we can actually figure this out. And for me, I think it's helpful because I don't know the answers, and I'm not gonna understand what our society needs unless I'm talking to other people and I'm understanding what's going on.
And the last example is anchoring. So in this anchoring, we want to be able to provide ourselves as an anchor for those out there that are putting themselves in the midst of all of this turmoil. These times are going to be fighting times for the unforeseeable future. We don't know when this movement is going to have its labor paid off, but what we do know is that we're not going to stop until we start to see major improvement. Because if they are fighting this fight alone and we are not joining with them, then it's only going to go so far. This is what's happened since the beginning of the Civil War. So we need to be rested, we need to be de-stressed, we need to be healthy, we need to be educated, and we need to be mindful of how we're progressing this. So when your parasympathetic nervous system is flaring up and you're starting to have anxiety and fear over these things, having breath practices, breathing practices. So for example, when you breathe in for 4 counts, and when you breathe out for 6 counts. And this is going to allow your parasympathetic nervous system to restore itself and to come to a place of rest instead of fight or flight.
I'm going to dedicate a part of my energy to be there and to bring you some kind of anchor, to send you love, to send you strength, to send you safety. I want to thank everybody who's in this and supporting the Black community at the moment and supporting one another. I think it's really important that we show up and that we're trying to communicate that we are a community, and that even if we haven't had your experience and we don't know that specific struggle, I want to understand, I want to listen, and I want to be able to be there.
We want to be there. We are a part of this community, and we fight for justice.
This is the problem, guys. This is the problem. Because even though we're like best friends, co-founders, I still said I, and that's the problem.
My message to all of you viewers watching is that my name is Misha. And I am a Mexican American, and I feel ashamed. I feel really ashamed for being able to now come into my own present state of awareness and understanding that racism has even been projected in my own family. And shut the door. And shut the motherfucking door.
We don't even need sound effects.
Nope.
Life just took care of it for us.
We here at Ritual Común, we're together in this movement with you all. And have any questions for us, have any advisors, have anybody that wants to come onto our channel and speak for this movement, we are here for you.
Yeah, and let us know what it is that we can do.
Okay, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you did not like this video, Go away, please.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Till the moon has set, till the moon has set.
If you like what you hear and you want to keep the conversation going, listen to our podcast, Ritual Común Contigo.
Also, check out our Instagram where we have affirmation, oracle cards, and give a special message just for you.
Make sure to check out our website.
ritualcomún.com.
Inhala.
Exhala. Inhala. Exhala.